What's up, everybody? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. Sorry I've been away for a while. Literally just been getting ready for the ARG event in Atlantic City next week, so I've just been putting a lot of effort towards playtesting and theory crafting with my team, but I've gotten a good amount of testing in, and I'm confident in my abilities, so I'm going to slow down a little bit on the playtesting, just kind of take a week off of just playing and just kind of collect myself mentally and just get ready for the event coming up next week. So I do apologize for not being around, but I wanted to showcase the deck that I'm going to be taking to the ARG event in Atlantic City. And real quick, I just want to shout out a couple guys in my Discord channel who are, of course, subscribers as well. I want to shout out Draz, or Mike W, as he goes on YouTube, and I want to shout out Rich. These two guys have been with me since like the beginning of the channel, and the whole Discord community and all you guys commenting down below. You guys are all great, and I love all your feedback, and I love having conversations with you guys. But I had a really good conversation with Draz the other day, and it kind of gave me a not so much validation, but just kind of like just keep it going. Sometimes you do things in life, you don't feel that they're paying off the way you want them to. It has nothing to do with YouTube or anything like that, just life in general. And, it's good to have a support system out there that understands you, on a societal level, and understands that there are things that happen in life that we can't control. And you just got to keep grinding and keep pushing forward. So I want to shout out Draz for that great conversation that we had the other day. And I want to shout out Rich. Rich has been kind of MIA for a little bit, but I'm glad you're back, brother. Thanks for your input. Rich is the Trunks master, so if any of you guys are looking to playing any Trunks related decks, please by all means join the Discord channel, pick his brain. He's a very great player. I'm glad you're back, dude. I have missed you and missed your input, but I am glad that you're back in the chat and just chatting it up with all the guys. So just two quick shout outs before we get started, but without any further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm sure you guys already know that this is the play. The Universe 7 Frieza leader is by far the strongest leader in the format right now because of its synergy and its playability with the Universe 7 archetype from Tournament of Power. A lot of cards in this game have very powerful interactions with the board, but Frieza has probably the most powerful interaction, and it doesn't affect the board state at all. So, being able to discard a Universe 7 card from your hand and replacing it with 2 new cards is fantastic. I mean, it's such a great ability. It allows you to just filter through your deck and get your pieces off and play the way you want to play, and it kind of doesn't play like any other deck. Really, you're not being aggressive, you're not really attacking, but you're also not getting attacked because your opponent doesn't want you to build hand advantage. So you just kind of sit there and get your plays off turn by turn and do what you have to do until you can put your big threats on board. So I've been playtesting this deck for a very, very long time, since it's pretty much come out, and I'm comfortable with the build that I have currently, and I think it's going to make some noise in Atlantic City. So if you guys are going there, please look for me, find me, say what's up. I'd love to meet most of you. If not, if you're watching the event on stream or whatever the case may be, if you're following on Facebook or anything like that, just try to scope me out. I really appreciate the support. And that's pretty much it. So you see in the front side, the Awakened side is pretty much the same thing. You pitch a Universe 7 to draw 2 cards, but then you can put one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode. So it's not really too relevant. Like, the leader doesn't really do too much except for the draw. But, it's very powerful. So we're going to get right into the deck. I'm going to start off with... Hold on one second. I'm going to start off with 3, 4, ready to fight Son Goku. Now, for the most part, he is your tutor. He's your turn 1 play that you can filter through the top of your deck to look at the top 3 cards and then add a Universe 7. But in all honesty, I either usually charge him for my blue energy or just pitch him for 2 cards, because in my opinion, drawing 2 is much more powerful than looking at the top 3 and adding 1. Just because you're adding 2 cards as opposed to 1 card. So I use him for a lot of discard fodder, but when I need to, I will tap 1 energy to play him, or I'll charge him to get that blue energy, because you need to charge blue in this deck just to be able to play a certain card that we're going to get to in a minute. But he is a very good play turn 1 because he filters through. He's a target for the leader, and self-explanatory. The tutors are very good. Then we have probably the best card from the Tournament of Power set. We have, the 1-drop negate Master Roshi. This card is bananas because it's a 1-cost negate, and with the Universe 7 leader, you don't have to pay specified cost, so it's just a 1-drop negate. And it puts a body on board, so it gives you free combo ability. He's very good because he's searchable. You can search him with the leader, or you can search him with another card that we're going to get to. But he's just a 1-drop negate. He's very, very good. I didn't think he was going to be as good as he really is. I knew Roshi was going to be good, but I just didn't think he would be as powerful. It's just a really good card. And worst case scenario, it is discard fodder for you to draw off of your leader. So you have to play Roshi. And also it's yellow energy. So that's another big component in this deck. The next card we're playing is 4 Representatives of Universe 7. This card is bananas because it has a Universe 7 trait. So you could pitch it off the leader to draw 2 cards, which is ridiculous because it's not a battle card. And the leader doesn't specify it has to be a Universe 7 battle card. Otherwise, you tap 1 energy, yellow, any type of energy, because it's no restricted cost, and you look at the top 7 for a Universe 7 card. So you can add the Gokus, you can add the Roshis, you can add your super combos. Basically, this deck is just drawing and searching to get to your pieces, and then when you're ready, you just play your power turns, and you pretty much just win from there. Universe 7 Representative is a very, very good card, and it can search itself because it says a Universe 7 card as opposed to just a battle card. So worst case scenario, if you're not happy with your 7 revealed cards, you can just add another one to your hand if you've revealed it, and then just play another one next turn. Just thin out your deck and just completely just filter through and look for the pieces that you need. Great card. Then we also we're playing 3 Crusher Ball. Crusher Ball is super powerful right now because a lot of decks are playing big threats, and you could just Crusher Ball them and kind of make them useless. Crusher Ball is my answer to Frieza and to the secret rare Goku, the Victory Strike, because you Crusher Ball them before they hit the field. So when they do the 7-drop Frieza, you Crusher Ball him, you don't have to pay a life, and then next turn you just kind of run it over, or you just do what you have to do. And then as far as the Goku, you can Crusher Ball the 5-drop so they can't evolve and swing, or you could just, if you want to be risky, you can Crusher Ball the secret rare and hope that they don't have a bad ring. And Crusher Ball also is really good against apes, not that apes are seeing a lot of play right now, but you can Crusher Ball the 2 March targets that come in, or against Maiden Transformation, you can Crusher Ball the 2 Maidens that come in off of Transformation. So all in all, it's a really good card. Gets around barrier, and it just kind of slows your opponent down, which is what you want to do. So we're playing 3 Crusher Balls. Next, we're playing 3 Flying Nimbus. Flying Nimbus is still really strong. I mean, obviously you have the 4 Roshis in the deck, but Flying Nimbus is just really good because it stops veggies, and it really stops Vegeta. Like when you're playing leader heavy decks that are going to swing with their leader to either draw a card or gain some type of a plus effect off of it, Flying Nimbus is good because you could just negate that attack, pitch a yellow, which you run enough yellow to do that, and then just kind of save yourself for the remainder of the turn, because that's what you want to do. You just kind of want to save yourself until you're ready to go off, and then just basically just whittle down your opponent until there's no more life left. You're really not playing an aggressive strategy. You're playing more of like a defensive passive control strategy until you get your big bodies on board, and then you kind of just go from there. But this deck is not aggressive in the slightest, so Nimbus really helps, with survivability. The next card we're playing, of course, is the backbone of Universe 7, which is the Universe 7 Super Combo. Believe it or not, I ditched this card a lot to draw to. Because you're not really attacking and you're not being aggressive and your opponent is not attacking you because they don't want you to outhand advantage them, you kind of just sit at 8 life, or like you sit above 5 life for a very, very long time. So these essentially become dead cards. And, a lot of times you don't want to pitch a Roshi, or you don't want to pitch a certain card. You just pitch the super combo, and you're going to draw 2 cards off of it anyway. So I know it feels like a bad play, but in this deck it's not. Sometimes I even charge the super combo because there's no restricted cost for energy in this deck anyway. So sometimes I just charge the super combo if I feel like I have to, and I just kind of go from there. Again, I know it feels like a bad play to discard super combo to draw 2 cards, but early game sometimes you might have to, and you really only need like maybe 1 or 2 of them late game, if that, to survive. So drawing 2 is very, very important. So if you have to pitch the super combo, you pitch it. And then the next card we're playing, this is the best card in the deck, is Objection. Being able to play Objection for literally, Objection's always been a really good card, but it's always been one of those cards where you play it and you're like, oh, I have to take another card out of my hand. In this deck, you draw so much that Objection doesn't hurt you at all just by losing 2 cards. And you wanna ramp so you can play your bigger threats 2 turns early. So you definitely need to get off 1 objection. If you get off 2 objections per game, you're basically going to win. It just allows you to extend your plays and allows you to put higher cost battle cards on board before the particular curve. And worst case scenario, if you have too many in your hand, you can always charge 1 for blue energy because, there's no specified cost in this deck. But Objection really does help you get to your plays. It's a very, very good card. I try to hard mulligan for Objection like as often as possible. And here's where my deck gets a little different from most people's. I'm playing 4 of the new Majin Buu. I used to play the Goku package in this deck, but I felt like the very few times that I lost was because I was getting shotgunned and I couldn't out combo. Because with the Goku package, you're running like a ton of one energy 10k combos, and if you're tapped out, you obviously can't use them. So I figured, let me try to use the Buu package instead because they're free 5k combos, and the 5-drop Majin Buu essentially does the similar thing that Goku would do for you. So I figured I'd try that out. It's been working really well. I mean, this is another body on board. It's 15k. It's nothing to laugh at. And you can always evolve the 5-drop over it for 3 energies and then just kind of go off from there. Worst case scenario, you can charge it and it's a free 5k combo. And he thins out the deck as well. When he comes into play, he searches for another Majin Buu. So you're essentially getting 2 cards off of 1 play, which is very strong because you want to thin out your deck and get to your combo pieces as soon as possible. So this card's very, very good. Free 5k combos are always really good. Then we play 4 Focus Mind Piccolo. You don't really put a lot of cards on board with this deck until you're ready to go off. Basically, the turn you summon a creature is the turn that you win. But Piccolo is very, very good because he has Barrier, Blocker, and when you have 4 energies on your opponent's turn, he gains 5k. So he becomes a 20k Barrier Blocker, which helps because your opponent essentially can't get rid of it unless they're playing that 5-drop Frieza, that taps them. And it stops the secret rare because, they can't get around blockers. And it also gets around the 7-drop Frieza because blocker is a key skill, so you don't have to pay a life to activate the blocker. It's just a really good card. Worst case scenario, it's blue energy, which you need, and it's a free 5k combo. So it's a good card. I like it because it helps you survive. If you have a Piccolo on board with a Nimbus and a Roshi or Crusher Ball in hand, you can pretty much survive anything. So I like to play 4 Piccolos just to see him, and if I see him early, I'll just charge him. But worst case scenario, he becomes a free 5k combo. Then this is my favorite card in the deck, believe it or not. I'm playing 3 Destructo Disc Krillin. I love Krillin as a character. He's like the most relatable character in the entire show because he's just a human. Obviously, he's like a super powered human, but whatever. I mean, Krillin is the comic relief, but I'm so glad they printed a good Krillin card. This is basically my answer to Veggies, especially if I'm on the play. I get to 3 energies faster. So basically, if I'm on the play and they go turn 2, play Kaba, I charge my 3rd energy and then play Krillin and blow that Kaba up. It's just a really good answer to Veggies. You can blow up Kabas, you can blow up Caulifla. He blows up to a cost of 3, so it's a really good card. Worst case scenario, you can pitch it to draw 2 or you can charge it. It's a 15k body, so it's nothing to laugh at, but it's a good card essentially. And it helps you get rid of little threats on board or like little weenies. Like if they're just playing a whole bunch of 1-cost 5k combos, You can just get rid of a whole bunch of them. But it's a really good card because Veggies is probably the toughest matchup because they're just so quick and they just build such huge boards. But Krillin is your answer to Veggies. So I would definitely recommend playing at least 3 Krillins. Then, as I was mentioning before, I play the 5-drop Majin Buu. He is basically my replacement for the Goku. Now, don't get me wrong, Goku is a great card because when he comes in, you tap 5, then his auto kicks in where you draw a card and untap an energy, and he helps you awaken, but he is a 10k combo. Now, I like Buu a little bit better because he essentially does the same thing as Goku. He awakens you, but you can take lives 1 at a time as opposed to Goku who does 2 at a time. Now essentially their effect is the same because where Goku gains 10k, Buu gains 5k. But I feel like being able to take 1 at a time lets you control exactly how much you're going to take as opposed to just ripping yourself down to 1 or 2 lives with Goku and just taking all of the cards. Granted, you're putting cards in your hand, but you still kind of, just in case you're playing against the mirror, you still need life to answer Frieza. And the other reason I like him is because he gains his pump off of his effect, and he is a double striker with barrier, so they can't Shugesh explosive the Buu, so you're putting pressure on board, and if for some reason they don't get rid of it, the next turn they have to deal with another threat. So essentially, I prefer the Buu package over the Goku package, simply because I like Buu's effect where I just take 1 life at a time, and I also like that all of the Buus are 5k combos, so I never feel like I can get shotgunned and not have a response to it. So that's my theory behind it. If you guys want to play the Goku package instead, by all means, it's still really good. But I prefer this because it's more versatile and it gives me kind of a little bit of a different strategy to play, and it's just a better function to me, just in my testing. Then of course, you're playing 4 of the Cold Heart Strike Frieza. This card is really good because it's dual attack and it gets around barrier. Because when he comes into play, you can discard a Universe 7 to put 2 cards in rest mode, and they don't get to restand. So you can rest blockers and just swing over them. I rarely do that effect unless I need to, but the main reason he's there is for an evolve target for the 7-drop, which I'm going to get into in a second. But this Frieza is really good. His dual attack, all the Frieza cards are really busted in this game, and the fact that you can pitch him for the Universe 7 draw effect is really good because you don't really need that many of them. Yeah, at most you're going to play 2 in one game, so all the extra copies can be charged or discarded for draw. But he is really good, so that's your evolve target for the 7-drop, which is right here. This card is so degenerate, it's not even fair. Pretty much all the good cards in this game have autos and effects that have to resolve, so just being able to crit your opponent for 1 life and preventing them from doing that is just silly. But, it's a good card, so if you want to win, if you want to top, you got to play good cards. By all means, this deck is beatable. But I felt like I was winning more than I was losing with this deck. But by all means, it's not invincible. It could definitely be beaten. It's just a play right now. Unfortunately, this is how it is. If you have access to the cards, you play them. But this Frieza is ridiculous. It's an EX evolve for 1 energy, and you discard a Universe 7. So that's really good. And what's it called? Just being able to prevent your opponent from literally doing anything is amazing. The mirror is tough because if you're playing against him, he's not that fun. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna see a lot of mirror matches. You're gonna see a lot of Veggies. So that's just how the cookie crumbles, as they say. But this Frieza is just ridiculous. It's so good, and there's not a lot of spot removal in this game. So there's that. But if you have the access to this deck or this cards, you just gotta play it. And then the last card I run 3 Mash Saiyan the Mysterious Warrior. Again, this is an answer to Veggies and kind of just anything. Like if you put their Goku, like if you're playing the mirror and you put the Goku in rest mode, they're really not going to evolve. So the next turn you just kind of wipe them off the board, and it kind of sets them back a lot. Same thing with Frieza. If you tap the Frieza, yeah, they might go into the 7-drop, but they might not, especially if they tap themselves out to do it. You could just warp him with the Mass Saiyan because they're 5 costs. But mainly he's there for veggies because veggies is such a problem. In combination with Krillin, you can literally clear the entire board. You can Krillin the Kaaba, and then if they have a Caulifla and the new Kale on board, which are 2 costs each, you could just warp them away with Mass Saiyan. It's just really good. You know, removal is really, really important in this game. Unfortunately, he doesn't get rid of blockers, but that's why you have Krillin if you need to. It's just a really good card. It puts pressure. It's a 1 cost, you know, double strike card late game. You know, it's a lot of pressure, and you just want to make sure that you efficiently are able to win. So that's pretty much it. This is the deck that I'm going to be using for the Atlantic City event that's coming up next week. But pretty much after that event is over, I'm probably going to be taking a long break and just doing some more analysis and some more content for you guys until set 4 comes out. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to get this video out there and show you guys, you know, what to expect. If you guys are going to AC, like I said, you know, look me up. You know, hit me up, let me know that you're there so we can chat or whatever you guys want to play test, whatever the case is. But I wish you guys the best of luck if you are going to AC. If not, thank you guys so much for the support. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm very reachable. I love having conversations with you guys about what's going on in the game or what ideas you have. You know, so by all means, if there's anything that comes to your mind, just reach out. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. And we'll see you in the next video. Be there or be squared.